Okay, just picture this for a second. You're standing out there. The ground beneath you is this ancient granite. The air's cold, it's crisp. And you look up, and the sky is just so incredibly clear it feels like you could fall right in. That's where we're starting our journey.
So, welcome. In this explainer, we're diving into a journey of starlight and stone, and our guide is the ancient wisdom that's been saved by the dark skies over Cornwall. We're going to look up, and we're not just going to see a bunch of distant lights. No, we're going to see a living, breathing story. A story about our own journey through cosmic time.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? Those little pinpricks of light we see, they're not just passive decorations. They are active. They're taking part in our world, sending us messages across millions of years. They've got a story to tell, and believe it or not, it's about us.
Right, so let's begin by looking up at the legends, the stories that people have woven into the constellations for thousands of years. The stories that connect this rock beneath our feet to the heavens way, way up there.
You know Orion, right? You can't miss him in the winter sky. We all know him as the hunter. But for the Cornish miners, he was the giant, kind of a memory of those who once walked the land. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This idea of a celestial doorway. That fuzzy patch below his belt, it's not a sword. A lot of ancient cultures actually saw it as a portal. And get this, the pyramids of Egypt are aligned to it, like massive arrows pointing the way.
Okay, now let's shift over to Gemini and see how this idea builds. In the Greek myth, you've got the twins, one mortal, one divine. It's a whole lesson in duality. But the Cornish legend sees them as the hurlers, these men turned into stone circles right there on the moor. And maybe it wasn't a punishment. Maybe it was a moment of just pure joy, frozen for all time. See? Two totally different stories about the same stars, but both are exploring that balance between the eternal and the earthly.
And this just shows so brilliantly how our culture shapes what we see in the cosmos. Take the Pleiades. For the Greeks, they were sisters on the run. But in Cornwall, they are the Morveran, or Sea-Maidens, guiding lights for sailors. And then there's that great mystery, right? Why do we only see 6 stars clearly? Did one fall in love with a mortal? Or did she come down to Earth to share her wisdom?
All right, now let's turn to the absolute brightest star of them all, Sirius, the dog star. It just burns with this incredible light, but maybe that brightness is actually hiding a really profound secret. I mean, this thing is an absolute powerhouse, 25 times more luminous than our own sun. The ancient Egyptians based their entire calendar on it. When it rose, it meant the life-giving flood of the Nile was coming. They even saw it as a goddess, soaped it. So it's this star of immense power, incredibly important all through human history. But that's not the whole story. So here's the kicker. Sirius has a secret companion, a tiny, super dense white dwarf star called Sirius B. Modern astronomy only confirmed it was there pretty recently, and yet ancient cultures like the Dogon in Mali, they knew about it for centuries. How? It's one of those mysteries that just reminds you there's often way more to reality than what we can see with our own eyes.
And that question takes us away from the stories we tell about the stars and right into the staggering, mind-bending reality of their scale. So we're shifting gears now, from mythology to the wild mathematics of deep time.
2.5 million light years. That is the distance to the Andromeda Galaxy. It's the farthest thing you can see without a telescope. It's just a number, but what does it actually mean for us, for our journey as a species on this planet?
Well, think about it like this. When that glimmer of light you might see tonight first left its home galaxy, our early ancestors, Homo habilis, were just starting their journey here on Earth. That light traveled through empty space while ice ages came and went, while whole empires rose and fell. That little photon of light is a time traveler, and looking at it connects you, right now, directly to the dawn of humanity. You know, in all this cosmic motion, humans have always looked for an anchor. And for thousands of years, that anchor has been Polaris, the North Star. They called it the nail of the sky. It's the one point that seems to just stand still, a guide you can count on in a world that's always changing. It's our constant. But here's the twist. Over deep time, even our anchors move. Because of the Earth's wobble on its axis, about 4,000 years ago, back when the Egyptians were building the pyramids, their pole star wasn't Polaris. It was a different star called Thuban in the constellation Draco the Dragon. It's just this incredible reminder that our whole journey on Earth is happening on a stage that's constantly, dynamically changing.
Which brings us to the most personal part of this whole journey. How does all this vastness, this deep time, how does that connect directly to you, right here, right now?
Look up on a really clear night, and you'll see it, the Milky Way. That's our galaxy, seen from the inside out. To the Cornish miners, it was the Silver Road, a path for souls to walk. But it's so much more than a myth. It's a river made of billions of suns, and it's our home.
And this is the most profound truth of all. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, every bit of oxygen you're breathing, every single atom was forged in the heart of a star that exploded billions of years ago. You are not just looking at the stars, you are literally made of them. That river of light up there, it's flowing through your veins.
Which leads us to a really powerful conclusion. You've got all this ancient light arriving from above, and all this ancient earth right beneath your feet. So where does it all meet?
It meets in you, right now. You are the waystation. You are the conscious point where 300 million-year-old granite and 2.5 million-year-old starlight come together. You are the observer that gives all of it meaning.
And what this all really means is that those ancient alignments, the myths, the wisdom, they're not just dusty old relics. They're like arrows pointing through time, aimed at every single one of us who looks up and wonders. They point to you.
So when you ask those huge questions, who am I? Where did I come from? The stars have an answer, and it comes in 3 parts. The first part is a reminder of where you came from. You aren't separate from the cosmos. You are a literal piece of it.
The second part of their message admits to the magnificent unknown. You were born from a process so vast, so incredibly complex, that we can only really call it the mystery. And that's not a bad thing. That's a wonderful thing.
And finally, their message is about purpose, about direction. This entire journey, your life, it's not some random accident. It's a return. You are going home.
You are the consciousness that connects the ancient stories and the hard science. You are the place where the universe actually becomes aware of itself. So the final question, it's not for me to answer, it's for you. When you look up at that dark sky tonight, what story will you see?